episode of the Whole End Talks. You're joined today by me, Scott Acton, and I'm joined by Jamie Acton. How you doing, mate?
I'm good, mate. How are you?
Yeah, good. We're just putting it out there. This is our first live video, so it might go wrong, but we're winging it.
We're very much winging it.
Just us two today because Aaron is struggling with a bad back again that he might be watching from the hospital. But yeah, Villa 1, Fulham 0 on Saturday afternoon, mate. We've obviously seen all the other fixtures now. We obviously needed that win. What did you make of the game? Initial thoughts on it?
I thought if we wanted to, we could have won it by 3 or 4, but we just couldn't find that end product. Ollie having a few chances, 1-on-1. He had the I think the cash cross went under his feet, and then Marlon had two good chances as well.
Yes, Katie acting up the Villa back to you.
Yeah, no, it was. Stage of the season, it's all about just getting the job done, isn't it? So, we got the 3 points. That's what matters. The performances, I'm not really too worried about because after Saturday, you only have 2 more games, so you're not worried really looking at the long-term picture. It's just all short-term results, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't the best of games, was it? Really, bit drab. I mean, looking back on it, obviously we could have won by a bit more. Fulham didn't offer a great deal, did they?
Nah, I mean, everything about them was a bit stale. To be fair, I mean, they're the way they set up. I thought going forward as well, I thought they were a bit stale. I thought their fans were awful as well. They didn't even sell, the top tier. They didn't even sell out the bottom tier they had, which is probably what, like 1,200 maybe at that bottom tier. So
Fulham, shocking.
Yeah, it's probably the worst set of fans I think I've seen. And do you think they're going for Europe as well, which would be, if they could get Conference League, that'd be massive for them. And yeah, I mean, they didn't even sell out the bottom tier. So we sold out their top tier that they gave back to us, our allocation. And yeah, I think the bottom tier is about 1,200, if that. And they didn't even sell that out, so they probably had around 1,000 there.
Yeah, pretty poor, really, isn't it?
It was awful. Yeah, I mean, we've been Craven Cottage a few times, didn't we, back in the Championship, and it was just, the clackers. And I don't mind Craven Cottage as a ground. I like, obviously, they've got the new stand on the Thames side, but you've got the old stand as well with all the wooden seats. I like that, but then it's just the clackers, and then obviously we have our little bit from the playoff final where, for anyone that don't know, when we lost in the playoff final in 2018, and we were walking out. Obviously, we left a bit early, like 88th, 89th, 90th minute. I don't know when we left, but as we walked out, Fulham fans were walking out with us, and it was just like, your team just won the playoff final, and they couldn't give a bollocks. So since then, I mean, I've had, as you can tell, I don't like Fulham since then. But yeah, just the fans, the way they were awful Saturday. And yeah, the team itself were poor as well on the day.
They're my least favourite ground to go and watch a football match in is Cottage.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hate it.
Really? Oh, what? Because the family section?
I don't think I've seen Villa win once.
Yeah, that's fair, to be fair. Every time we're in the Championship, we lost, didn't we?
Yeah, I just don't think I've ever seen us win there.
You went to the FA Cup one as well, didn't you?
I've been...
First year back in the Prem.
I've been to Craven Cottage quite a few times. It's not for me.
Yeah. It's like it says, where I was in the concourse, and I says to, who's I say it to? I said it to someone, I was like, Scotty hates Fulham. And I was like, I remember you telling me last season when we played them, you said you were like, I hate Fulham with an absolute passion. And you said you were like, it's one of your worst teams, you hate them. Obviously, you got Blues, like everyone hates Blues, but you said Fulham is right up there for you, didn't you?
Yeah, I'm not a great lover of Fulham. Anyway, back to Saturday. So obviously, team news. What you expected? I thought Mings might come in personally. I expected Maatsen to start. Thought he played it well again. Obviously, Ollie was going to always start up front now that Rashford's not fit. Any surprises or just pretty much what you expected?
Torres, I thought, I really thought Ty would have started. I would have probably given as well. I saw a few calls for Bailey as well, just because he was the only attacking player we had that looked like he wanted to play against Palace at Wembley the previous Saturday. But yeah, I probably would have gone with Marlon as well. But yeah, Ty, being the big one for him not to play, I thought it's wild to me. And again, this is going a bit off topic, but I was saying I thought in Emery's head, obviously we've seen it in interviews, and we knew obviously it's obvious to see how much he loves Torres. Obviously, they've been together for a while now, so Villarreal. But in my head, I'm trying to think: is he maybe planning for next season? Like, is he? Obviously, he wants to win, and in his head, obviously, he'd rather play with Torres anyway. Clearly, but is he thinking? We got the Yasin Özcan from Turkey coming in. He's a left foot defender. Maybe is he thinking? Obviously, Powell is going to be here. So you got Powell, you got Özcan coming. Is maybe looking at, well, if I can, I'm going to try offload Mings in the summer. So why am I going to use him now when this is going to be my number one left side centre half in Torres for next season? That was maybe one of the reasons why I was thinking, because in the reverse fixture we went 1-0 down, and that was because of Pau Torres. Do you remember the ball over the top of Raul Jimenez?
Yeah,
And
really.
really, really easy, and it's just that sums it up where you know Ty in that situation wins the header, and we don't go 1-0 down. So yeah, I was surprised about Ty not starting, but like I said, the only thing I can think of is that he's thinking for next season.
Yeah, I was reading a bit about that. I know we're off topic here. That Ozcan. Someone they were saying that he's actually probably better left back. Yes, Reece Abbott. That's what we're talking about.
You say he's better left back, yeah. When I went to Turkey. What was that, a month ago now?
Yeah,
I was chatting to a Turk over there, and he was a Fenerbahce supporter. So we were talking about Carlos, and I was like, "Oh, do you know about Yasin Özcan?" And he said, "I was like, yeah, like he's supposed to be the next thing coming, like in Turkish football, alongside Arda Güler." And he said he was like, yeah, like he plays left back, but he's been playing left of a three. But he
yeah,
said he plays left back as well. But he said he has actually had a couple of games at left midfield as well, like left wing. He said, and he said he was like he's absolutely electric at
yeah.
left wing. The guy was pissed.
If you look at a lot of the players of a certain age, and a lot of the people that do a lot of the charts and top 100 under 21, he's high up in a lot of them charts.
Yeah,
People think obviously or how he's being perceived as so far. So it would be interesting to see where he fits in.
yeah. I mean, like left backs, obviously, Matson looks like he's going to be here for the foreseeable. Luca Dean every summer. You don't know what's going to go on with him. He's had a good season, but do we maybe get someone like an Ozcan and then get rid of Luca Dean if he sees him more as a left back? You don't know. I was going to say then, the guy, when I was talking to him, he was pissed. So he could when he was saying he was a left winger, take it have a pinch of salt. He said he's played a few games at left wing as well. But he said, yeah, left back, he's played left of a three. But yeah, he just said he's really, really physical, really aggressive in the challenge. But yeah, like I says, that could be the only reason why I thought Ty might not have been playing, and he might not play again for the rest of the
Yeah.
season.
We've also obviously got Moreno to come back from Forest. Just whilst we were talking about left backs, I think he will probably be moved on as well. But he's not had a bad season at Forest.
Yeah, he did start the season. Like he started the season, like he played, like he was starting for him in the league. But now, like obviously, as the season's gone on, how they progressed, obviously he's kind of then become second fiddle.
Yeah,
They've
playing more on the left hand side now because of how good obviously Ollie Einer's been.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, I mean, Arna's even played a few games at left back as well. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
So anything to keep Moreno out of the team. But yeah, like I says, he started the season. He was playing for him week in week out, and then as the season went on, he could, like I said, became second fiddle, and now he's kind of like they used him on the FA Cup games. Like I says, they played away at Exeter, I think, on the Monday night when it went to penalties. They won on the penalty shootout, and he played that game. But that just sums it up. They rested everyone that night. I think off the bench they brought Wood, Hudson-Odoi, and Gibbs White off the bench. That just sums up that they weren't playing none of the big hitters against Exeter for obvious reasons. So, if he's starting that game, it sums up really.
Yeah, we'll get back to obviously Saturday then. Good start, obviously goal in the first 12 minutes. Really good header by Tielemans. Leno obviously gets a hand to it. There wasn't really much action throughout the game. I mean, we're pretty comfortable in the first half. We're in control. So Tielemans gets a good header. It's a good goal. No real other major chance in that first half of note. Anything that really stands out.
No, it wasn't, no.
But we were comfortable. I thought, look, we're looking comfortable. And after obviously the FA game, it was always going to be a bit of a duller atmosphere. Second half obviously starts, and I mean Watkins won't get a better chance to break the record with that chance that he had.
But that was what, the 46th, 47th minute?
Yeah, it was about 30 seconds into the second half.
He was my captain on fantasy as well.
He was my captain as well. I was fuming. But I mean, he's got to score, isn't
he? Yeah, I mean, the old man says to me, he says taking a deflection, so I just took his word for it and went, oh, yeah, all right. And I looked back on the replay, and then it didn't, and I thought, I mean, I'm on a few group chats on WhatsApp, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and that. One of my ones I was on Instagram, it went on for about 2-3 hours. It was all about Watkins. Is he the guy to take us forward? He needs 4 chances to score one, but then you flip it on his head, and then I think only Son and Salah have got more goal involvements than him since the 2021 season, I think. So it's like you put that into perspective. It's again he's got like 26, 27 goal involvements this year, I think. So it's just like it's a hard one. It's similar to the whole cash debate, really. Some people, it's like Marmite, isn't it? Some people want Ollie to be our number 9 starting every week because he works like an absolute horse, and he's everywhere. He can occupy a back line so well, and they can say, well, he's getting in the positions. So as long as he's getting in the positions, I'm happy. He will score X amount of goals, but I think that's all right if you're mid-table trying to get Europe. How we were, but now we're hopefully, if we do back-to-back Champions League campaigns, I think just getting in the right areas, I think isn't enough at this level. I think for me personally, but again, it's a good debate because he's put up some good numbers already this year. He doesn't take penalty. I mean, I know one was a penalty. I think it was Brentford at home, but he don't put up penalties. So he works hard for his goals. He can create as well, like we saw last year. But yeah, it's just for me, it's just getting in the right position. Enough for me anymore. I think it was enough for me 18 months, 2 years ago. But I feel like now, you want someone to, not score 1 in 4, But that's just my opinion.
No, I know what you're saying. I think it would. I think what people have got to remember, it'd be really hard to find someone that does what Ollie does as a whole collective package. Like you said, his numbers are pretty good again this year. What's he on? 14, 15 league goals?
I think he's on 15, yeah. He tied Gabby's record now.
He's obviously he's not got nowhere near as many assists as he had last season, but for assists, his numbers are still pretty good. But he probably should have scored 2 at the weekend. Obviously,
Yeah, but
that one where I think Rodgers slid him through, and he's hit it well, and Leno makes a good save, but really, if that's 0-0 and that's your one chance, then he needs to be scoring that. But I mean, you could have this debate. The debate could roll on for a long time. I think we're better when he's in the team and he's on fire, but I don't know if he just looks disinterested is probably the wrong word, but I don't. His body language doesn't look. Does he look happy?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of things have been said since Carra said what he said on that Stick to Football. About apparently we offered him to Arsenal, which I think's like bollocks if I'm honest. Because no journalist have put that anywhere. So why would Carra not have anyone? The guy, don't get me started on him actually. But yeah, like I don't know. Like a lot of people have been saying that he doesn't look interested, but it's just maybe that's just people like speculating because of like it says what your man in the media said, and obviously everything that happened in January. But I remember like everyone takes David Ornstein's word biblically, and he said that Watkins is happy staying at Villa if the deal don't go through. This was in January. He said he's happy staying at Villa. He's content at Villa. He's happy at Villa. Just signed a new contract. So, in my head, I took that as he's here to stay, sort of thing. But yeah, like it's just a quick one before we move off of Ollie. Say, obviously, we don't know what's going to happen with Rashford in the summer. If you gave Ollie 38 games, as a 9, and then also gave Rashford 39 games as a 9, who would you say gets more goals? Take away penalties, because obviously Rashford takes penalties, but who would you say would be better output?
I would probably say Watkins gets you more goals. Over the whole season playing number 9 and the way that we play, I would say I would still pick Watkins over Rashford.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
It's tight though, isn't it? It's tight. You can't really be wrong. You can't be wrong with either, really, can you? But it's a good debate.
There's not much in it. I think Rashford is potentially the better finisher, but I think Ollie probably makes more chances for himself.
Yeah, that goes back to the bit I said about he's getting in the right areas, and as long as he's getting in the right areas, that's the goals will come. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like he says, the run that he made for that one-on-one save with Leno, the way he peeled off for the back of Anderson for the one that went under his foot. It's just like maybe not every striker in the league kind of does that. And what you say is that if you get rid of Ollie, who do you then sign? Because barring Haaland and Isak, overall, not just talking this season, but overall, as strikers, barring them two, is there a better one than Ollie?
No. And I think if you go through, obviously, if you went through all the teams, you'd say Liverpool probably need a striker. They've just won the league, but they probably need a striker or a proper number 9. Newcastle obviously don't because of Isak. Arsenal need a striker. City don't because they've got obviously Haaland and Mamouche. But Chelsea need a striker. Man United need a striker. Spurs maybe need a striker. You could pretty much go through all the top teams, and I've included Spurs and United in there, but any of the top. Well, think about the top 10 really. You've got obviously Ollie, Isak, maybe Evan Nilsson at Bournemouth is probably a proper number 9, but would he get into any of the top 4 teams? I'm not so sure.
No.
So you're looking at, like I said, Liverpool, Arsenal, Chelsea, they'll need a number 9. And I think we're dreaming a little bit if we think, we can sell Ollie and then just pluck another number 9 out of nowhere.
I think from how footballers nowadays, they'll be looking at in their head about return on investment as well, because if you keep Ollie for another 18 months, right, say in the summer you get 50 million for him, in another 18 months that goes down to 25, 30, because he's near 30 now, isn't he?
Yeah, I think he's 29. I think this would be the summer that if you were going to cash in and get 50 million would summer. I also think from his point of view, if he thinks he can get one big move where he's getting a contract for 4 or 5 years on big money, is probably this summer. Because I think when you go past the 30 mark, obviously teams have a slightly different outlook on what they think they can get out of you, and the sell on factor for them. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's obviously it's a chat for a completely different episode of.
Yeah, we'll do loads in the summer, won't we?
Yeah, like a stay or a go, or a keep and a sell kind of video. You'd keep and you'd get rid of.
Yeah.
We've just got a high five from hello from Aaron, who currently set up the hospital. So, hello, Aaron.
Hope he's telling all the nurses and doctors about us.
Yeah, he's up for Mark spreading the word.
Yeah, putting those stickers about that we still need to get.
Obviously, we come close again late on when Marlon come on and hit the bar. I think Ramsey put him through. He was unlucky with that. All in all, though, there wasn't really much action. Sessegnon obviously had a goal disallowed for them. Handball, it was handball, although he finished off quite well. I mean, ultimately, it was job done. We needed the 3 points to keep the pressure on, especially with the other result. It obviously, Aaron said the whole waiting room's listening. It obviously keeps us in the mix now. As it stands, we're still bottom of that, say, mini table. Obviously, this weekend we've got Bournemouth. Bournemouth obviously had a good result against Arsenal, so we'll come on to that game in a second. But just to keep us in the mix, it was obviously a big free.
Oh yeah, 100%. That Marlon chance one that hit the bar you're on about, I was gone. I left the ground by that point, so I didn't see that chance. But obviously, I watched it back. Yeah, it's just like I said. I feel like if Fulham gave us a little bit more of a game, then if they got the equaliser, we would have been forced to go right for it. Whereas we were quite content with how we were playing. You could see that. But like I says, the results is all that matters. You don't care about the performance at this stage. Bournemouth, obviously, on Saturday will be a brilliant game because they've come off a superb result against Arsenal. Whether that's Arsenal having one eye on tomorrow night, I don't know. But Arsenal's team they put out against Bournemouth was stronger than the team they put out against PSG because Partey came back in the middle, so fully deserved the result. Like I said, it's gonna be a really tough game, but I'm still, we just got to be churning out results. I think Bournemouth away is obviously we're talking about the last 4 games: Fulham, Bournemouth, Tottenham, and United. Bournemouth away is definitely the big one in my head, because Tottenham and United should get to the final, judging by the first legs. They're both in the final. We should be beating them both regardless, but they'll be thinking about the final. So Bournemouth away is definitely was the number one in my head for these last 4, kind of the running. I thought, but if we can win Bournemouth away, I reckon we'll be all right because we've probably got the easiest running, maybe barring Forest. I'm not sure, but Chelsea have a tough run in. I know they beat Liverpool, but they still got tough games to go. Newcastle actually have quite a tough run in as well. I think it's been kind of gone under the radar just how tough their running is. I think they got Arsenal, they got Chelsea this weekend. They got Arsenal, they got Everton. I believe it's Everton last game of season as well. I think it's at St James's Park. But if we can be, ahead of Newcastle, for example, come last game of season, if they lose both of their next 2, Chelsea and Arsenal, or flip on and said if they win and then Chelsea lose, because again they have Newcastle and they have Forest last game of season as well. So it's just there's so many curveballs that can happen, but I still think that if we get 9 points, so 12 out of 12 from the last 4 games, we've got 3 already, 3 out of 3. If we can, win every game, I do think we will get there.
Yeah, it will be tough on Saturday. I mean, Bournemouth are very good at what they do. I've got a lot of time for. He's done a really good job, Areola. the Chelsea-Newcastle one is obviously the big one this weekend because one of them is dropping out on points. I mean, really, because of our goal difference, we could do with. I don't know. I don't know what the best result would be. Actually, thinking about it, one of them takes 3 points off the other. That would draw us level. I think Forest have got Leicester, if I'm right.
Yeah.
At home, you'd fancy them to obviously get through that. Leicester aren't great. Less the Jamie Vardy miracle or something. City have got Southampton, I think, so that's pretty much 3 points in the bag for them. So, again, it's just important for us to stand the coattails and just try and grind out another 3 points. I feel like we owe Bournemouth one though because they obviously scored that late goal at the home game, and then we went on a really bad run after.
Evan Nilsson won it 97th minute.
Yeah, and we were obviously quite flaky then at that time of the season where we were dropping points late in the games.
Yeah.
But it will be a tough game. The atmosphere will be good down there. It's 5:30 kickoff, isn't it? So we'll have to bang up for it. Do you think it will be the same team that he's put out for the last couple of weeks? Obviously, he's pretty much played the same team for Saturday and for the FA Cup semi-final, bar Matson.
Yeah, I think it'll be the exact same team again. No Garcia, no Mings. I reckon Matson will see the season out as well. The only actually thing, it sounds quite mad that I'm actually saying this, but the only thing I think he might change, deep down I don't think he will, but the only thing I could see happening is maybe bringing Onana in for Booba, just because Booba's gone from being man of the match in every single game to then dropping 2 stinkers. But on the flip side of that, it's Booba. You know, he's our best midfielder alongside Tielemans. You know, and just I think that interview where they spoke about Powell, Ramsey, and Rodgers, also said that Booba is Unai's favourite as well. So I imagine it will be the same 11. But if there was to be any change, the only one I could imagine would be maybe Booba dropping out. But I don't see it personally. But it's just the only one I can kind of think. I reckon he'll still stick with Asensio. I mean, if it were me, I'd have Rodgers off of Ollie, and I'd probably play JJ and then McGinn out wide, or have McGinn on the other side and Marlon on. But I mean, in my head, he's going to stick the same because he loves Asensio as well. I don't know if I'll try my memory now. The Spanish football journalist Julian
Balaguer,
yeah, he's obviously doing a bit on Unai Emery at the minute, isn't he? Like a documentary book sort of thing, isn't he? And he said that he's been trying to get Asensio for 3 windows now, and he said he's obsessed with Asensio. He has been for many years, so I just don't think he's.
Yeah, he has gone off the boil slightly, but when you still watch him, he's still got so much class and he uses class on the ball. Very good at picking up the pockets. I think maybe, I think he's struggling from having a lack of pace either side of him, actually, more than anything. When he first come in, we obviously had Rashford was predominantly playing out wide on the left, where I feel like now he's got mainly Rodgers and McGinn either side of him. They both want to invert. Neither of them are overly pacey, so he's probably finding it more difficult. But I think he's still playing okay. I think it's a good shout about Onana. I actually think Onana's played pretty well the last few weeks, and I think Matson. I know we touched on him, but I think to be fair, Matson probably deserves to finish the season now as starting left back. I think we look so much better when he's in the team. He's so much more progressive.
Yeah, I think as well where we have to go for games, having him play, he offers such a. I know it's again I'm contradicting myself by saying this, but I'm pretty sure out of all fullbacks in the league, I think Luka Dean's created the most big chances or created the most chances. I think from fullback this season. I think he's got the most accurate crosses as well. But I know what you're saying. When Matson plays, it does feel like we have that extra gear.
Yeah, and that's not me digging out Luka Dean because he's probably been in the top 3 players this season across the whole season. I just think we've looked better in the games Matson's played recently. I feel like Matson's obviously put a lot of work in behind the scenes to get himself to a level where, you know, he probably would have expected to be back a few weeks into the season. But obviously, we are learning with new players. It takes a while to get into how Emery wants to play in the system that he wants to play. I think that's probably why we're seeing the Onana looking better, because he's obviously had a lot more time now to work with Emery and getting used to how he wants to play.
Yeah, well, I mean, we all thought with Matson that he would be in after the West Ham game. Do you remember he came off the bench and created the goal for Duran?
Yeah,
He played JJ before, but that all came from his run, power into Matson, because that's, you know, Luka Dean weren't making those runs, and even if he does, he has to get out of his feet and cross it quick, other because you know, he ain't got that burst of acceleration like Matson has. Yeah, similar thing with Onana. I think when he came at the start, he's what we needed. And obviously, he was under a bit of critic because he was coming, he kept getting injured, didn't he? And then, but thankfully, Booba came back. Obviously, Booba being Booba. I mean, I said it might have changed now with how good Tielemans is, how good Tielemans has been this season. But I've said all season that Booba is our best outfield player.
yeah,
So for him to come back better than what he was prior to his ACL injury is, we're very fortunate for, because they can either go, it's a bit of a hit and miss, that one. It's either you come back and you're shot, or you come back and you're. It would, like I said, it'll be interesting to see what happens with Rodri when he comes back. Will he be anywhere near as good, or you just don't know? They either take their going to the next level, or they just fall well off. But thankfully, Booba came back better than ever. But I think that also helped Onana in the sense that it gave him time to actually understand how we play fully, because yeah, I mean, like, you watch how Tielemans plays, you compare that to how Onana was playing start of the season, it wasn't like that whatsoever. Whereas now you can see the where he picks the ball up now, and I'm trying to think of the game, the Southampton away game for the Marlon goal. He just picks it up straight away, bang into Rogers into Marlon goal. Whereas I felt like at the start of the season, it was very much he'd get the ball, not not knowing what he was going to do, but he weren't making those line breaking passes. He wasn't. He wasn't. I didn't feel like he was driving for the ball as much. And when he did,
and I know we spoke about it, didn't we? After when they went to was it when they went to the training camp? I think I said to you on one of the episodes that even in the training video, he looked like he was quite slow, quite laboured with it, taking a lot of touches. But in the games, you're right, he's a bit more progressive. He's passing forward. It's a bit more of a purpose to how he does it now.
yeah, like I said, that comes with understanding the system, understanding what players he has around him. You know, and I just think, like I says, like, he came off the bench on Saturday, and he was unbelievable. He done more in the 20 minutes he was on than what Booba done the whole time he was on the pitch. So it was just, yeah, I was happy with him. And again, that change might happen on Saturday. You just don't know. Or, you know, apparently, you know, Booba's one of Unai's favourites, and has he got enough credit in the bank from how well he's played this season to start. You're away at Bournemouth. It's a tough place to go. Do you go with your best defensive midfielder that you got? You know, or do we see a thing where Senso comes out and Tielemans is off of him, and then you have Kamara and Onana again? You just don't know how he's going to set up. I think he will play the same 11, but he surprised us so many times, because I thought Ty and Garcia will come in on Saturday and Marlon, but they didn't. So
I don't know what Marlon's got to do to get a start. To be fair,
him and Ty have been shagging his wife, I'm telling you.
I don't know what he must have. Yeah, I don't know. He's done something to not to obviously piss him off slightly. I don't know what he's got to do, because the dad always says it, but every time he comes on, he looks lively.
Yeah, and it's just like you said about Asensio and he runners off him. Rogers off a volley as a 10, arguably our best player, right?
Yeah,
You have that. Imagine pace off of him. Imagine if you had JJ and Marlon either side, or Rashford and Marlon, or Bailey either side, making runs in behind. Similar thing to what you said with Asensio. Having McGinn and Rogers running off of Asensio, it just doesn't work. Whereas if you had Marlon, who I've said before, over 5-10 yards, I think is one of the quickest players I've seen play like live. It's so electric, and it's just if you can get him, you know, he went on that run, didn't he? Where he got three goals, didn't he, in 3 appearances? So he started against Forest off the back of the Brighton goal.
It was like 3 away games, wasn't it?
That was it. Yeah, Southampton, Brighton, and then it was Forest at home, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But yeah, like it might be another one next season. I was watching another podcast, and people were saying that players like Marlon and Garcia, you're going to have to watch for next season because they're all saying that next season they're going to have to that they feel like they're going to have a very big role to play. Obviously, it all depends what happens in the summer, but especially Marlon, if you're looking at it, say you don't sign Rashford and Asensio, say Bailey goes, or even if Ollie goes as well, because he came on as the 9 on Saturday, so it's just like he done the 9 against Tottenham as well, played really well, arguably man of the match that day. So it's just he's another one where you can play him off the left, play him off the right, play him set down the middle. But yeah, I do think next season we will see a used more. I hope so anyway, because you can see that they messed it up a bit in January with Rashford and Asensio coming in and him not being in the Champions League squad. It was all a bit of a kerfuffle in the end, really, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it got a little bit messy, didn't it?
Even the Sassy being in, it's just like, did you need the Sassy in there? Obviously, if Esri got injured, then shit, it's the fan. But since we got knocked out of the Champions League, the Sassy ain't played it, I don't think.
No, and I think it's one of them. We needed a centre back at the time. It served its purpose, but Cash now seems to be obviously over any main injury concerns and is playing regularly.
Yeah.
Just obviously on Saturday, then, what are you going for?
Cool. What do I do on Super 6? Can't remember what I've done on Super 6. 2-1 I'll go for.
2-1 Villa.
Yeah, I can never go for a loss or a draw. I've always said even when we were playing bloody Rotherham and Burton Albion and all them boys, I always said that even if we play Barcelona tomorrow, like Messi's Barcelona, I always said we'll nick it 1-0 under Bruce. But yeah, 2-1.
I do feel like we know we need to win. I think we will edge it. But yeah, I'll go 3-1 just to check up.
3-1. Like I said, the performance is irrelevant. It's just as long like we could play absolutely awful, get absolutely battered, but if one goes off Asensio's nutsack in the 94th minute, that's all I care about.
Well, yeah, we'll put it out there for the last couple of minutes to anyone that's actually watching. What do you think the score's going to be? We got a few people watching.
This is Aaron and in the whole waiting room.
Yeah, yeah. Aaron's just got everyone involved.
The nurse has said 4-1 Bournemouth.
Have they?
No, no, he ain't said that. That's what he's going to put in a sec.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Well, that'll probably do us. I mean, we haven't done an episode actually since the semi-final, just because we've been flat out. And I will let you break the news, but we'll put it out there because obviously we've added a new Acton Villa baby, Acton Brown to the family.
Yes, we have. We have indeed.
Shout out.
Yeah, Marley Ray Acton Brown. Born on Wednesday. She watched her first Villa game yesterday, the FA Youth Cup. I got a video of her watching the FA Youth Cup. She was asleep. She was asleep there. She was asleep, but then she had like a grunted face like this. Like, she already knows that she's got a lifetime of bloody hell up against her. But I bought her I can't remember what game it was, around Christmas time. I bought her a Villa, like a tracksuit. I think it's a 0 to 3 months. So she'll be in that. Come pre-season and start season. So yeah.
Yeah.
We'll get her. We'll get her on for an episode.
We'll just say congratulations to Shannon and Michelle. They know who they are if they're watching, and well done, guys. We're really happy for you. we'll wrap it up there, shall we?
Yeah, sound.
Like I said, we're doing this live, so we don't actually know if the video saves or not. So we might have done it.
We might have done this enough. We might have to do it all again.
Look, Kevin Axon's just joined in.
He can hear me downstairs. So.
Yeah, Kev, give us a prediction for Saturday if you're still listening.
Well in, Dad.
Obviously, Aaron's obviously getting seen by the doctor. He hasn't put a prediction in.
That's actually shocking when you think about it, isn't it? Like he's not even like he's gone to A&E. He should be watching this. He should be bloody dedicated.
I know it's pretty bad. He's just done a number on the podcast. Here we go, Kev. 2-1 Villa. That's what we like to see.
Yeah,
we're fine with that. That'll do us, mate. We will be back probably after the Bournemouth game, before the newly moved Tottenham game, which we won't get into tonight because it's an absolute piss take. But
I'm about to say that'll roll me right up.
Yeah, not good. But we've obviously got the game Friday, so we'll be back after Bournemouth. Anything else that you want to say?
Not really. No, like I said, performance is irrelevant as long as we get 3 points. All that matters. Don't want to get into that rearranged fixture because I've been saying it for years about corruption in the Prem. So we'll save that video for another day as well.
Yeah,
because it's a bit late now, and I'm getting a bit tired, so I don't want to roll myself up.
Yeah, I've got a pregnant wife. I need to go and cuddle. Right. Right. Up the Villa, mate, as always, and we'll see you all soon. Thanks for watching.